Well, Whiskey Vault, by the way.
Oh yeah, we're supposed to be doing a whiskey thing. Welcome. This is going to be a good series of drinking.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
It's all Scotch.
Okay.
Couple of independent bottlers.
I don't recognize
couple of
the
single malts.
cork.
This is Alexander Murray & Co.
Oh, yeah.
But this is a gift from patron saint Elton Billings.
Elton Billings, you patron saint of whiskey.
Ding. He's also a son and an author of the whiskey
you
book.
catch that save, by the way?
Yeah.
That
You,
clutch.
patron saint.
That clutch save?
I don't know if it was a save.
No, it was
as
a
much
save.
as a pivot.
Nah, save. Clutch save.
This is Blair Athol.
I've never heard that word in my life.
Blair Athol. You've seen it.
Okay. No.
You've not seen that one?
No.
Well, you know why? Most of its product goes for blends for Diageo.
Okay.
And unlike some of the blending distilleries like Cardew, where it's this really light sort of butterscotchy soft touch whiskey, this is specifically designed to be a little bit more weighty and meaty for like that middle heft weight layer to add body to the grain in the blend.
Because if you're taking like light blends, I'm thinking Glenkinchie in, we got the Johnny Walker there. Even in like Islet, you got the Kalila, which is still
kind of lighter.
Yeah, still lighter comparatively to the other things.
Now,
this is going the other direction.
It's not supposed to be like, oh yeah, heavy, but it's meant to have a little bit more body, a little more heft.
Yeah.
And
Fat
mostly
bottom girl.
when you get independent bottling releases, which there aren't many, they're sherry cask versions.
This is not.
This is a sherry cask version.
Oh, it is.
So that's what we're going to try.
Got it, yeah.
A lot of the ones they put into their blends are bourbon cask versions.
I want to put my nose in it.
Yes.
Okay. Malty, sweet.
But you can trace this distillery or something that ended up becoming this distillery all the way back to 1798.
Oh, wow. That sounds like a really old name. That's not Blair Athol. It's not something that a marketing team would come up with. They're sitting in a boardroom. And
it's named, well, originally it was named after like the hills and the valley things. It was a different name. It was like Aldor or something like that.
Okay.
Always makes me think of Star Wars.
So is this a modern name, Blair Athol?
Yeah, more modern, 1800s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Not a lot of complexity on that nose, though. I'm getting like 2 or 3 layers. As I go back, I get more of a fruitiness added to that sweet maltiness.
I'm looking for a density, and I am getting a density, but I'm not getting a weight or a heft or a spikiness.
Now, hold on.
It's soft.
I've gone back to the nose 3.5, almost 4 times now. Makes sense. Every time I go back, I think this is opening up in the glass. Yeah. At first, it was just a really simple, sweet maltiness.
Very floral.
You get floral?
I get like sticking your nose right in a big, heavy, dense flower note. Like, oh, that does smell good.
Okay, floral, but a fruity preserve also. Yeah. Yeah. Almost a strawberry fruit roll-up.
Yeah. It's still simple in the nose. Let's try.
But more complex than that first approach. Because I was thinking, just sweet maltiness.
Yeah.
That's why it's being blended, I guess. But no, there's on the nose. We'll see if it holds up. Oh, it's nice.
See, that's where you get some texture, some oil.
Yeah.
Pepper.
There is an intensity to that.
Yeah. You know why? 54.8% alcohol.
That'll do it.
Zing.
Yeah. Oh, and it leaves some heat right back in here, too.
Now that I have room to store things, I'm going to get the droppers back out one of these days.
You can store droppers.
They're all upstairs. Well, and before it was like anything I set down got moved on the bar, and right. So
well, we do have a little nook or cranny depending on your preferred verbiage.
Yeah.
Just down in here. What about under this?
Because that gets moved constantly.
Well, they shouldn't do that.
I do it for the safety of that thing. But remember these fancy ones?
Daniel, I've always told you safety third. Come on.
That's true. Whoa, this is big.
I went back again.
Opening up. I really need that proof to go down a little. The oil is so hefty right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't have said this is a blending whiskey. This is a little bit more complexity and a lot more vibrance and density and body. Yeah.
Look at the size of that blue. Like you ever in a rainstorm when the drops get really big, and when they hit, it's like, ow, that kind of hurt a little.
Just one little fat drop there.
Yeah. Oh, it opened up more of the fruit. And a little bit of malt. Even though this is 17 years old.
Yeah. Blair Athol. Yeah,
Now,
I got more of the maltiness opening up.
Ooh, I like it. It lost a lot of weight and turned into just sort of this sweet. I could see now.
It lost the floral bit for me quite a bit.
I think, yeah, now it's just sweet, malty, a little bit peppery.
Yeah.
I think I could see what it would provide to a blend at that point. It starts to provide that weight and pepper, but without it being dominating in any one direction.
Yeah. And do we know what commonly known releases this is going in?
No.
Well, whatever it's going in. If it has to do better than that,
odds are it's Johnny Walker's, and
that's nice. That's nice. I like that. Yeah, there's relatively few just straight up Scotch blends that I would like better than that.
Oh yeah, no, this is solid. When we have a few Blair's independent bottle releases in here, and every time I try one, I think, oh, that's really good. And then I forget that it exists, and I go on to other things. It's like the wallflowers of Scotch single malts.
I got like a spicy heather. Yeah, if a heather was spiced up. Do you remember that heather note? Yeah. Yeah, it was one of those notes where you'd always see it on like bottles and Scotch tasting notes, and like, well, heather's not really a thing. You go to Scotland, and then they have heather freaking everywhere.
Yeah.
And then you smell something like, holy crap, I've smelled that hundreds of times.
Yeah.
Heather, of course. Spice up the heather, though.
Rediscovering the good old whiskey.
Yeah, it's good. Dom's Vibranium Bicep.
All right.
Bicep has fingers so I can type.
Yeah.
Team, I feel like I have done whiskey wrong. I spent 12 years in Europe and started down the Scotch road before my latest tasting with young bourbons. Am I wrong to expect more flavors from bourbons, or are they more vast in their notes as they age past 10 or 12 years? Thanks.
Yeah, no, you don't get bourbons past 10 or 12 years because age is not an objective reality. So it's not that like all whiskey is better when it's 10 plus. First you got new oak and then you've got climate variations and alterations. And so bourbon, almost all bourbon on the market.
Size of the barrel is big factor.
Almost all bourbon on the market is probably between 6 to 10. Almost a mix of barrels between 6 to 10 as far as big brand releases, right? And any more than that, you start trying 15-year-old bourbons, 12-year-old bourbons, 20-year-old bourbons, they start getting more and more tannin forward, more and more dry,
which could still be really good, but it has to be balanced up against some very present sweeter flavors that aren't going to be that bitter tannin.
6 to 8 is really the sweet spot for a lot of American whiskey.
Craig Smith, thoughts on tall bottles? They have to go on the top shelves at liquor stores. Smoke and Mirror's top shelf has to be good. Like the newer tequilas, conspiracy theory maybe.
Yeah, so, I never thought about that. I bought some cabinets to store whiskeys for each level now, so that instead of pulling whiskey out of the vault for each level, we just like roll up the cabinet. And it's like, this is whiskey for whiskey 2.
Yeah,
and just stays in the cabinet down in the basement. And we pull it out only for class. The shelves are perfect, except for the people who have these gigantor bottles. That just keep going, and the shelves fit literally every single whiskey except for 2, and those 2 have to sit on top of the cart. And so now when you walk into the room, it looks like we're featuring these 2 whiskeys, and neither of them are that great. And I'm always a little bit like, hey,
and like I respect the game. They're doing it at a certain point, but they're very tippy once they get that tall. Yeah. It's kind of like modern water bottles.
Oh yeah,
they're really long
because they get
and the thin plastic and
just like
and it makes me a little. I'm not an anxious person by nature,
but sitting in your water bottle, you're like,
always
put the lid back on. Always put the lid back on.
Always put the lid back on. This was pleasant surprise. Blair Athol.
Yeah,
Blair Athol. Sure, why not? Here's to fighting, stealing, and drinking.
If you fight me, a fight for a friend.
Steal me, you steal your liver, sorry.
And if you drink,
may you drink with us.